At our rehearsal dinner, my fiancé stood up and announced that my 9-year-old daughter would not be part of the wedding photos. She thought everyone would agree. Instead, my lawyer stood up and read a clause she had ignored for 6 months. I should have canceled the wedding 3 months earlier. That's the truth. But when you're in love, you become really good at explaining away things that should scare you, especially when they happen slowly. My daughter Ava was 9. Her mom died when she was 4. For years, it had just been the two of us. Then, I met my fiancé. At first, she was wonderful, patient, kind, thoughtful, or at least that's what I thought. Because every time she said something cruel to Ava, it was always disguised as advice. She's too clingy, she needs independence. You baby her too much. Small comments, easy to ignore, until they weren't. The rehearsal dinner was held at a private restaurant downtown. Both families were there. Parents, grandparents, bridesmaids, groomsmen, everyone. Halfway through dinner, my fiancé tapped her glass, smiling, confident, like she was about to make a toast. Instead, she looked directly at my daughter, then at me, and said, "I've made a small adjustment to tomorrow's wedding." The room got quiet. "I think it'll be cleaner if Ava sits with the guests instead of standing with us." My daughter froze, fork halfway to her mouth. I frowned. "What are you talking about?" My fiancé laughed nervously. "Oh, come on. She isn't technically part of the wedding party." Silence. Then she added, "And honestly, I don't want every wedding photo turning into a memorial about your first marriage." The entire room stopped breathing. My daughter looked down at her plate, and something inside me broke. My mother stood up first, then my sister, then even her own maid of honor looked horrified, but my fiancé wasn't done. She doubled down. "I'm just being honest." Then she pointed right toward Ava. "We've spent $20,000 on this wedding. I'd like one day that's actually about me." My daughter quietly got up and walked toward the restroom. Nobody stopped her because nobody knew what to say. The room felt poisoned. Then another chair moved. My attorney stood up, not because I asked him to, because he had been sitting there silently watching. He adjusted his glasses, reached into his briefcase, and pulled out a folder. My fiancé suddenly looked nervous because she recognized it. The prenup, the one she'd signed it 6 months earlier, the one she claimed she'd read. My attorney opened it, then calmly read a single paragraph. A paragraph nobody thought mattered. It stated, "In the event the marriage is canceled or dissolved due to conduct intentionally harmful toward the minor child, all jointly acquired marital assets shall transfer into an educational trust benefiting said child." The room went dead silent. My fiancé's smile disappeared immediately. Then my attorney looked at me, not her, me, and asked, "Would you like me to continue?" For the first time all night, I looked at my daughter, standing near the restroom door, trying not to cry, and suddenly I knew the wedding wasn't the thing I was about to lose. She was, if I ignored this. I stood up, walked across the room, took Ava's hand, and said no, then looked at my fiancé. "We're done." The wedding never happened. Most deposits were non-refundable. The venue kept the money, the florist kept the money. Everybody lost something, except my daughter. Last week, she asked me if canceling the wedding made me sad. I told her the truth for about 10 minutes, then she laughed, and honestly, that was worth more than the entire wedding combined.